This is the only autocrafter setup you need, because it features a brain conveyor system which turns off the crafting process when any limit you set has been crafted. Therefore, you don't have to craft all your valuable resources into items you don't need. The system turns itself on and off automatically, so you can spend your time jamming and PvPing and doing everything else than hugging the workbench while crafting, while still having just-in-time crafted items you need. The system works by taking an advantage of the filter pass and filter fail outputs in a conveyor, which are located at the bottom of the conveyor. When we set up a filter, if the filter is unable to transfer the items, it will send one power to the filter fail. In this example, the box is empty, so the conveyor will light up the red light. Because we set the limit to 2 meds, it will start transferring when the item count goes over that limit, lighting the green light. And when we remove the items, it will go back to the failed state. So using this feature, we're able to create an if statement, which is either true or false, and we can control other items using this feature. I use this setup to craft items that are used in large amounts during the wipe, like meds and ammo. To use the setup, you will need to research the item that you want to craft with the autocrafter. After researching, put the blueprint into the autocrafter and place the resources you need to craft the item into the box. The system will start to suck your resources according to the filters into the autocrafter, and the autocrafter will start to craft the item according to the blueprint it has. Once the autocrafter has crafted the item will get sent back to the box through the conveyor and the export pipe. The crafting process will keep on continuing itself as long as the import conveyor is on and keeps feeding the autocrafter with resources to craft. The magic of the systems happens with the brain conveyor that has no connection in its output slot. The only job for the conveyor is to monitor the box of how many items it has, and when the limit is exceeded, it will send a pulse from its filter pass node and turn off the import conveyor. One thing to keep in mind is that the crafter will still have one item crafting and resources to craft the second one, so it will always craft 2 more items after the import conveyor shuts down. Now the crafting process has been stopped until someone comes and takes the items from the box. That triggers the brain conveyor's filters and it sends a pulse to start the import conveyor again. Then the crafting process will continue until it is shut down again by the brain conveyor. And it happens when the limit set on the filter is exceeded. The building cost of the system is kept to a minimum so you can get this going early into wipe. To get the system going, here's everything you need. If you decide to craft all the items, here is the crafting cost for every item listed. The build of the system is fairly simple. First you place your solar panel onto a roof, and I have already done that. Run the solar panel into a power source, and from the power source run it into the brain conveyor's input. And from its pass-through connect it to the import conveyor's input, and from the pass-through connect it to the export conveyor's input. From its pass-through connect it to the power in of the crafter. Now we're going to move into building the conditions of the brain conveyor. Connect the brain's filter pass into the turn off of the import conveyor. Then connect the brain's filter fail into the turn on of the import conveyor. After this, connect the import conveyor's filter pass into the turn on of the autocrafter. This ensures that the autocrafter stays on. Now the power runs from the solar panel into the battery, and from there through the conveyors into the crafter. The industrial part is also fairly simple. First, you connect the box into the splitter, and from the splitter to the brain conveyor and to the import conveyor. From there you connect the import conveyor into the crafter, and the crafter into the export conveyor. From there, run a pipe into the box's input. I think it's a good habit to keep all the pipes going into the crafter red and the pipes going back to the box green. It is especially important if you're jamming in a group and another player might have to fix a system you built. The filters are what makes the whole setup work and create the conditions that prevent overcrafting of items. Set the import conveyor to match the item's crafting recipe for one single item. For the brain, set the item and the filter minimum amount to be the amount that if it gets exceeded, the import conveyor will stop the feed of materials into the crafter. I know, this sounds a bit complex, but if you want to craft a line of meds, set the filter minimum to 9. And this is because when the 10th item gets transferred into the box, it will turn off the import conveyor. The crafter will still craft 2 more items and then stop, and you will have a line of meds in your box. The last conveyor can be left blank, but I like to set it to the item that I'm crafting for clarity. My suggestion is that you play around with the filters and see what fits your needs. Usually the worst thing that happens is that you craft a few more meds or a few more bullets, and that's not a big issue if you use this to craft meds and ammo. To change the crafted item, first you're going to need the blueprint of the item. Place it into the crafter and then work around with the filters to match your needs. Be sure to place the correct amount into the brain conveyor and then change the import conveyor to match one item's recipe. Place the resources into the box and then change the export conveyor's filter to match what you're crafting. And watch the magic happen. The performance of the crafter is slightly slower than you crafting the items yourself. You can expect to craft a line of meds in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, a stack of pistol ammo in 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and a stack of rifle ammo in 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And now you know how to build this auto-crafting setup that you can leave running the whole wipe and never run out of meds, ammo, or any item you need crafted in bulk. This setup is also very useful for teams, because when you start a server where you don't have any blueprints, the whole team does not need meds and ammo because you can keep a constant supply of them. When you want to build this in game, you can find the Rustition link from the description. If you want to copy the exact filters I'm using, click the settings icon on the conveyor, press copy, then go in game, open the conveyor, hold shift and press paste as JSON, and you will get the conveyor's filters correctly. This autocrafter setup build was requested by a viewer, so if there's something you would like to see me build, feel free to suggest anything in the comments, and maybe you will see your idea get built in the next video. In the last video I built a super simple and easy to build electric furnace setup, so if that's something you're looking, go check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers!